So today's a very dark day. That's why I'm wearing all black. It is a very dark day for our democracy. And I want the international community to pay attention to this. Guys, for those of you that have been following me all these years, you'll know where I stand when it comes to protecting this democracy. Too many people lost their lives, and we have to protect this democracy. We have to do whatever it takes to protect this democracy. Across the world, we are seeing a sharp decline in democracies. And this happened since the birth of Donald Trump, basically. When President Trump became a president in America, that was the decline of democracies across the world. Because again, don't forget, America is this nation that everybody looks up to. And the moment, America's democracy was tested, all of these fringe leaders across the world thought they had a free day. And this is what is happening in Sierra Leone. And that is why we have President Bio came to power through democratic means. But now he's flouting every aspect of our democracy, every aspect of the Constitution, violating the human rights of the citizens of Sierra Leone. So Mohamed Kanawe Kone has committed treason against the people of Sierra Leone. He has committed the coup against the people of Sierra Leone, and what he is doing to proclaim a PR system, a proportional representation system, is a coup. And it's a treasonous crime. And we all know, if you're convicted of treason, in this case, the ultimate price is death. If it's military, it's firing squad. If it's a civilian, it's by hanging. And what this man has done, which is what I'm going to break out and break down for you guys, it's a coup. It's a constitutional abuse. Because what is happening in Sierra Leone today, we have a few set of people that have come together and they think they are better than everybody else. They've forgotten that we have a very dark past. Our past is very dark. We have a brutal rebel war. People like Ali Kaba went to the bush. They said, oh, we've been abused. They're killing us. The judiciary is rotten. They said the police is crappy. But today people are in jail, committing the same crimes. And now these guys have taken a step further to violate the Constitution. So that is what I'm going to talk about, guys. I don't want to waste much time because, it's almost 7 o'clock. And I want to do this real quick. And I'm going to go into the Constitution right now because that is what I want to show you guys. I want you guys to see this. And if you have the Constitution with you, by the way, I want you to turn to section 38 of the Constitution. However, let's start from 38 and we're going to do 38A. I'm just going to focus on this section of the Constitution to tell Mohamed Kanawe Kane that he has no right to proclaim a PR system. But before I show you guys the Constitution, let me show you where this whole thing started. It started with a tweet from yesterday. I want you to see this tweet from Mohamed Kanawe Kane right here. That was when this man committed this treasonous attempt, this treasonous crime. This is treason right here. And I want you all to see this. In accordance with Section 38A of 1991 Constitution of Sierra Leone, 2023 elections will be based on PR system. The Commission will release public notice at the PPLC meeting tomorrow, which was today. And he came out and he made this announcement. Mohamed Kanawe Kone made this announcement. And I want you guys to listen to this first. You see, because I want you guys to see everything I'm saying. So this is the announcement that Mohamed Kanawe Kone made. I want you guys to see this.
I think at the moment, if I was contesting for popularity, I would be number one. So let me go to the press statement. In accordance with Section 38A of the Constitution of Sierra Leone, 1991, Act number 6 of 1991, as amended in 2001, referencing subsection 3 of Section 38 of Section 38. The President may, after consultation with the Electoral Commission, direct that such election shall be conducted on the basis of the existing districts in a manner to be known as district block representation instead of constituencies. On 19th October 2022, the Commission held a...
I'm going to stop it right there, guys. But I want you guys to listen again. Listen to this carefully. I want everybody to pay attention because I'm going to break it down piece for piece. Listen to this.
I will be number one. So let me go to the press statement. In accordance with Section 38A of the Constitution of Sierra Leone, 1991, Act number 6 of 1991, as amended in 2001, referencing subsection 3 of Section 38 of the PREP of Section 38, the President may, after consultation with the Electoral Commission, direct that such election shall be conducted on the basis of the existing districts in a manner to be known as district block representation instead of constituencies.
All right. Right there, guys. I'm going to break that first part for you guys. I'm going to take you guys to the Constitution now. This is the Constitution he quoted. So first of all, that's a blatant lie. And there are other aspects of the Constitution that he left behind just so that they can, these guys are picking and choosing, to abuse this Constitution. But Section 38 right here, it says, Sierra Leone shall be divided into such constituencies for the purpose of electing the members of parliament referred to in paragraph B, subsection 1 of section 74 of this Constitution as Electoral Commission. Right? I want you guys to stay with me. I want to take it from there. Sierra Leone shall be divided into such constituencies for the purpose of electing the members of parliament referred to in paragraph B of subsection 1 of the section 74 of this Constitution as the Electoral Commission, acting with the approval of Parliament, signified by resolution of Parliament, may prescribe. So first of all, I'm going to show you guys section 108 of the Constitution. Before I even break this down for you guys, I want you guys to see section 108 and what section 108 of the Constitution says. You see, because that is where the treason comes in. And that is what Mohamed Kanawe Kone and President Bio and they are doing at this particular point in time, and every member of parliament, because maybe they know something that we don't know. But section 108, right here. All right. What does it say? Alteration of this Constitution. I want to make that very clear, first of all. Section 108, subsection 8. So let's go down to subsection 8. Right here. This is what I want you guys to see. Any suspension, alteration, or repeal of this Constitution, other than on the authority of Parliament, shall be deemed as an act of treason. So I'm not making these things up. Shall be deemed as an act of treason. And now, what has Mohamed Kanawe Kone done? When you look at the Constitution, it makes it very clear that you cannot alter this Constitution without the permission of Parliament first. And when you go to section 38 now, let's go to section 38 so we can read it together. Because even before I read this, because reading it might create confusion for you guys, but the Constitution makes it very clear that at the time when the elections were announced, as long as constituencies exist, there would be no need for us to use the proportional representation system. So let me give you guys a background first so everybody understands where we're going. I want to break these things very simple, in very simple terms for you guys to understand. Proportional representation. Some of you guys will be asking now, what is proportional representation, Ibrahim? Basically, what it means is that now the political parties are actually selecting the members of parliament instead of the people electing their members of parliament. That is the whole logic behind the PR system. Proportional representation. It is basically taking away power from the people to these elected officials, officials of political parties and governments. So now what does that mean? For example, a political party like the APC, instead of the people electing the members of... So pay attention to these words. Election, selection. Which one do you prefer? Do you want selection or you want election? Because the PR system basically is going to be a selection tool. So it's not an election tool. meaning the people don't have power to elect their representatives anymore. The government wants to take away the power from the people to elect their representatives. They want to give the power to these political parties and corrupt politicians. And this brings a lot of corruption within a political system. A lot of corruption, because sometimes it is the highest bidder that will take the topmost, slot in these political parties for parliamentary seats. So what happens? They go to a certain area. They say, okay, for this area, these are the people. These are the names that we want to represent us. So if a certain political party wins more, gets more votes, so more percentage votes in that particular area, and say this political party has to select 5 members of parliament when they have a list probably of over 200 people, now the first 5 goes. So basically the political party selects these members of parliament. It is not who the people actually wanted to represent them in their constituencies. And that is why Section 38A, there was an amendment of the Constitution later on for the district block system. And why do we have the district? Again, district block system, PR system. That's the same. Proportional representation system and the district block system. District block system. It is the same. I'm taking my time because I want you guys to understand this. I'm not going to rush this with you. Now what we have is constituencies. In 1996, we used the PR system because we had the rebel war. So certain areas were not accessible. We could not reach these areas. In 2002, same thing. But in 2004, when we had the local council elections, that's when we started using the constituency. So in 1996, because of the rebel war, we could not reach all these other places. They used the PR system, which is the proportional representation system. So now that we have constituencies, and our constituencies have a lifespan of 5 to 7 years. I'm going to get to the Constitution, but I want to break these things first before I take you to the Constitution so it doesn't get too confusing. So when I take you to the Constitution itself, you guys will see exactly what I'm talking about. But I want you guys to understand this basic logic. This is just simple, common sense right now. That is what I want to impart into you guys. And that's why I say Mohamed Kanawe Kone has committed a treasonous act because he has no authority to declare as a NEC commissioner, first of all, that would have the PR system. So that is why I want to break these things down to you. So if you guys remember, when the African Express came, we did an audio for you guys that follow me on WhatsApp and follow us on WhatsApp. Myself, Comrade Koita, Cashbox People's Power. We brought Brother Chino Bar of the African Express. With this, we exposed Parliament. Say, hey, they want to bring the NIN system, the NIN number, for the registration process. The fraud registration process, right? They want to use it. What did you guys see? A lot of people were disenfranchised in the country because they made the NIN a mandatory requirement to be registered, when the NIN was just another option. But they disenfranchised a lot of Sierra Leoneans not to register. Now we have these guys, finally they came with the PR system. And we told you guys that they want to bring the PR system. I have videos that I'll play for you guys shortly. But I want you guys to understand the logic of this whole thing. The PR system is basically taking away the power from the people. And it means they're killing the constituencies. They don't want to be held accountable anymore. These members of parliament, people like myself, we're coming out here. We say, Parliament, you're responsible for this. You're responsible for the decline of our democracy. Because don't forget, Section 105 of the Constitution makes it very clear that Parliament is the supreme legislative authority. And again, NEC was birthed. NEC was birthed. Now NEC, Parliament, now in born NEC. NEC was enacted by an act of Parliament. It means NEC came from Parliament. Parliament approved NEC. So NEC cannot go ahead and do whatever they want to do without consultation with Parliament when it comes to deciding what type of electioneering process we're going to use. The NEC commissioner does not have that right. The president may consult with NEC. That is, at the time, if there are no constituencies established. And that is what I'm going to read to you now. Let me go to Section 38A. You know, the reason why I'm going to take it 38A before I get to 38, because again, in the Constitution, you have 38 and 38A. 38A, which Mohammed Konawe was talking about, where under any law for the time being in force, a date for a general election of members of parliament has been appointed, but constituencies have not been established. So, from the date when they announce election them, and then constituencies are not established, I want you guys to pay attention. In accordance with subsection 3 of section 38, for the purposes of such election, the president may, after consultation with the Electoral Commission, direct that such election shall be conducted on the basis of existing districts in a manner to be known as district block system or district block representation system instead of constituencies. What did they tell we say? It said at the time when they announce election for, say, members of parliament, election for members of parliament, at the time when they announce that, guys, I'm speaking Creole, but I'm going to come to the international community to do this in English. But I think they can understand that fairly well. But for you guys, Sierra Leoneans, I want to make this in the simplest terms possible. At the time when they announce election, them, a date for election, if there are no constituencies existing at that time, the president can consult with NEC to say, hey, there are no constituencies. What do we do? That is the only time the proportional representation system can come into play. But what do we have? I'm going to take you guys now to section 38. 4. Section 38. I want you guys to see it. 38, subsection 4. That's where I'm going to take you guys right here. Let's start with this. The Electoral Commission shall review the division of Sierra Leone into constituencies at intervals of not less than 5 and not more than 7 years. Again, for you to have a constituency, I want you guys to understand these things. For you to have a constituency, you have to have what is called a boundary delimitation. That means they draw the map of the various constituencies. You can only do that through boundary delimitation. So boundary delimitation are for create the map them where they give you all the constituencies. And in these constituencies, we have wards. Sierra Leoneans, this is the civic education that is missing in our country. I want you guys to pay attention. As of this moment, the last boundary delimitation that we did was 5 years ago. So November next month, November 2022 next month, it's going to be 5 years since we had a boundary delimitation. Which means the constituencies where we get now, these constituencies are still in effect. And we should stick by these constituencies.